excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Ansel with you here on a Wednesday. Yesterday, those lows, a lot of frosty and freezing 30s and 20s were observed for us in the state. Charleston got to 30 for an official low yesterday. Martinsburg, your 25 was enough for a daily record low. Now we're warming up and watching for some likely rain and storms this morning. Some general storms for most of the state are possible this morning and this afternoon, too, for some of us. The isolated severe weather risk is to our northwest areas of Ohio. Cities like Columbus, some isolated large hail damaging winds possible this afternoon. We have likely morning round of showers here with the front stretching nearer northeast of our area today, and then a chance of some thunderstorms popping in the afternoon. Areas of Ohio, some isolated severe weather possible there. Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home. Spots like New York City, a cool 55. Chance of a rain shower today. Charlotte 84, Myrtle Beach near 74. From Panhandle to Panhandle, rain and storms likely this morning. And then a chance of a storm this afternoon. Highs upper 60s to mid 70s. Not as cold for lows now, too. 50s for overnight lows with a chance of a shower. Likely rain and storms this morning out east, then a chance this afternoon. So timing multiple rounds of some passing rain. Keep your eyes on a radar today. Showers potentially coming to an end overnight tonight. Lows in the 50s. Showers likely this morning with a likely thunderstorm too for the morning drive. Then a chance of a shower and storm in the afternoon. Highs 60s and 70s. Lows in the 50s. Chance of showers and storms this evening, early tonight. End of the south, likely showers. Chance of a storm this morning. And then a chance of a shower and storm this afternoon through this evening. And then likely dry tomorrow. Slight chance of a shower, 82 in Charleston. 84 Friday, warming up, and then timing cold front for the weekend. Chance of showers Friday, then likely showers, chance of storms Friday night into Saturday, 75. Highs in the 70s next week, watching rain and storms.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at Salango Law.
Coming up, MetroNews Talkline this morning, we'll get into a tragic story out of Kanawha County, how much congressional candidates have been raising, and the end of the baby dog mural saga. We've got a lot to unpack this morning. It's MetroNews Talkline. We're underway.
Not attempt to change the station. You are surrounded. We interrupt this program to bring you an emergency news bulletin. Repeat, this is an emergency bulletin. Keep your radio turned on.
From the studios of WVRC Media and the MetroNews Radio and Television Network, the voice of West Virginia, comes the most powerful show in West Virginia. This is MetroNews Talkline with Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows.
Check set lineup link. Activated Telos telephone. Switch network control from Charleston to Morgantown.
Stand by. Cue Dave and TJ. You're on. MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Welcome inside the Encova Insurance Studios. Dave Wilson of Morgantown. TJ Meadows is in Charleston. Gang's all here. Ethan Collins is our audio producer. You can thank him if you are listening in on one of our great radio affiliates across the state of West Virginia. Also, Jake Link handles the video stream if you're watching on the MetroNews TV app, Facebook Live, and YouTube as well. Multiple ways to get in touch with the show, and we've left some time for you today. We've been very tight of late. 304-TALK, 304 is the text line. Very popular way to interact. You can also give us a call. The phone lines are always open for you at 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. Coming up this morning, got a lot to get to, as I mentioned. Jonathan Savage will have the latest on what is happening with Iran. Will there be peace talks? Is there a ceasefire? We'll get the latest. Mike McKenna, friend of the show, will join us as well. We'll talk about the gerrymandering vote in the Commonwealth, and Stephen Allen Adams breaks down the congressional fundraising heading into the May primary. So all of that, say good morning. TJ Meadows from the Charleston and Cova Insurance Studios. Good morning, TJ.
Good morning, Dave. I want to go straight to Jeff Jenkins, who has breaking news.
Yeah, Dave, we just learned of this. Is in the last few minutes, there's been a chemical incident in Kanawha County, a place called Catalyst Refiners, and that is just off the Institute exit. So it's in that area just right past Institute, between Institute and Nitro. There's a park there with certain chemical operations there, certain companies, and it came in this morning, Catalyst Refiners there. So there's a shelter in place that's been issued for a 1 mile radius around there. We just got off the phone, Chris Lawrence did, with C.W. Sigmund. He's the emergency manager here in Kanawha County, so we're going to play a couple of sound bites from C.W. here.
There's an incident at the Catalyst Refiners plant. It's an acid-based material. We're putting a shelter, the chief of Institute Fire Department is putting a shelter in place as a precaution. Most of it was inside the building, but there's some patients that the medics are working on right now.
Okay, yep. So as he mentioned there, there are some medical situations, and it sounds, Dave and TJ, like some serious medical situations with this acid-based product. Here's CW again.
In the area of the Catalyst Refiners, about a mile area, everybody needs a shelter in place until we tell them different.
I've handled more. Sorry about that. But so, as we mentioned, there's a shelter in place there. It appears the major issue is inside the plant. And we're just getting information here. The shelter in place is a mile radius around, but it sounds like some pretty serious injuries, guys. We'll be putting more of this together and getting more on the website at wvmetronews.com, but that just broke here in the last couple of minutes.
All right, give the location again. Where is that exactly, Jeff?
Yeah, this is just off I-64 Institute exit. So if you get off at Institute, so that would be between Dunbar and Cross Lanes, you get off at the Institute exit, and if you get off, you go left to West Virginia State, you go right toward Nitro, and then there's several chemical facilities that are there on the left between Route 25 and the river and the Kanawha River, so it'd be in that area. So the mile shelter in place would cover, I think, West Virginia State University.
That's what I was going to ask you. It would cover.
Yeah, that would cover West Virginia State University. But that, again, according to CW there, as a precautionary measure, just for folks to stay shelter in place. But it appears most of the problem is within the plant, and they are treating several patients there, or several workers, it sounds like, for some very serious injuries, very serious situation. They've got emergency crews on the scene.
All right, well, you'll keep us posted on that. We'll have the story at wvmetronews.com. Yesterday, Kanawha County Prosecutor Deborah Rusnick was asking for patience from the Elkview community as the investigation continues into last week's death of Jonathan Lucas. John Lucas ran in front of a Kanawha County ambulance last Thursday morning. He was run over by the ambulance as the ambulance crew drove off from the scene. Again, Resnick held a news conference yesterday. Fill us in, Jeff. What are they looking into? Yeah. What does this investigation consist of?
Well, when it was first reported, and we reported it last Thursday morning, that this man who was later identified as John Lucas, he's from the Elkview area, that the initial report was from the Sheriff's Department, which I think was getting the information from the ambulance crew and different people, that Lucas had been lurking around they've got kind of a satellite station up in that area, Kanawha County Emergency Ambulance Authority, and they had a two-person, they're both female, medic crew that was in the area, and they had reported a man had been lurking around, that's the way they had described it, which they thought had a knife, had been lurking around the station. This is about 2 a.m, and they reported, the ambulance crew had reported, that he had jumped on the hood of, at one point, had jumped on the hood of the ambulance And then at some point he fell off the ambulance, and they could hear screaming underneath the ambulance. And as they continued on, trying to kind of exit the area. The thing has really stepped up, guys, because there's been video surveillance released from local businesses, and the family, the Lucas family, has come out. The Lucas family is the family. They're the ones who got the video surveillance and they gave it to WCHS TV, Leslie Rubin at WCHS TV. And as you can see from the video, Lucas runs into the road. The ambulance stops, and then it makes so that's the key point. It makes contact with him. It doesn't look like that he jumped on the hood.
I didn't see that.
No. And it makes contact with him, and then immediately he's underneath the ambulance as it speeds away. The Lucas family is calling for justice. They believe the ambulance crew should be charged. Deborah Rusnick has heard a lot from the community. The community's kind of rallied around John Lucas, who died in this. He was found several minutes after being underneath the ambulance. He was found dismembered, had lost an arm, and he died, lost a lot of blood, obviously. Had died a short time later at the hospital, pronounced dead. But there's been a lot of community comment, and Deborah Rusnick, the Kanawha County prosecutor, held a news conference yesterday urging patience, Dave, as you said, and also I thought she said something key. And this is one of the comments that she made yesterday.
However, as the investigation is developing, it has become clear that the initial accounts of the incident do differ from the evidence reviewed thus far. In our search for the truth and the pursuit of justice, a full and fair investigation is underway.
Okay, so the initial information was that he had jumped on the hood and then had fallen off. And so she didn't say specifically, but at least there's some things that were initially said that don't match up with what the evidence that she had.
Yeah.
Now, she went on to say there are 250 pieces of evidence to examine. And they're just getting into this. The sheriff's department also spoke and said, hey, we're handling this as a death investigation. There's a certain way we do in death investigations. That's we're going through our process. That's what we're doing, because they're hearing a lot from the community. And it sounds like even some of the community have gone overboard a little bit, as just,
That's a more than fair statement.
Yeah, they have said some things. Rusnick also said this, and I think she's referring to that.
I feel obligated to advise the community that threats or harassment, either online or in person, are criminal acts in the state of West Virginia. They distract our attention and resources from this critically important investigation.
All right. So they're trying to get to the bottom of what the ambulance crew said happened, what the evidence shows happened, and how the ambulance crew should have responded.
Let's analyze that a bit.
Yeah.
He runs the length of a fence line in the video, and you see him. He gets in the road, right?
Right.
I didn't see him jump on the hood. There was also claims he had a knife.
Right.
No knife has been found.
No knife's been found.
Talk about this 2 mile factor.
Yeah.
Apparently, what was reported yesterday.
Right.
They drove for 2 miles before they stopped, and he was underneath the ambulance for that period of time.
I listened to the Kanawha County Metro 911 recording, and it was reported. This is a dispatcher relaying this to responding sheriff's deputies. So I don't hear the crew. I hear the dispatcher who's relaying what they said to him to the responding sheriff's deputies. And they did say to him that they had driven off about 2 miles. They had heard screaming, and then at other points didn't hear screaming any longer. And then the deputies arrive on the scene and start to look for the victim. They started to look for John Lucas, who we learned to be John Lucas, and they see a lot of blood, and they eventually find him. Some of the responding deputies, guys, to the scene, it was asked at one point, should they stop or what should they do? And it sounds like to me a supervisor, I don't know exactly who it is, but a supervisor, maybe a deputy supervisor who's responding, says, yes, they should stop, saying the ambulance crew should stop. So I think that's all part of the investigation.
And the family points that out.
Yeah,
the
family points to that. So the Lucas family Mr. Lucas, he spoke to WCHS television. They're calling for justice. And he says, his son has had some mental health issues. He was injured when he was 16. He was in a collision with a school bus and was injured. And he says he told WCHS television, my son does some, he did some things out of the norm at times. Mm-hmm. He has some decision-making issues, but he's not stupid.
Traumatic brain injury.
Yeah, that's what he said, but he's not stupid. In fact, he says he's very smart, and he wouldn't have a knife. And so, and there's all kinds of things right out there, and we're trying to stick to what authorities are saying and what we know to be true. But a friend says that Lucas was trying to stop the ambulance because he had a tick bite, and he was trying to stop them to get some assistance. So I think all that, you can understand the authorities, they're trying to, reel all this in, trying to find out exactly what happened and what should have happened. The ambulance authority, we've talked to them, and they are making no comment other than they are cooperating with the investigation. So that's kind of where it is.
You can read the story right now over at the website. Go to wvmetronews.com. Jeff, keep us posted on, give the information one more time on the chemical situation there in Kanawha County.
Yeah, so this is a shelter in place. I'll just read right now. Chris Lawrence has just put a quick story together. The Institute Fire Department has called for a shelter in place for those living in close proximity to Catalyst Refiners Plant. And again, that's right off the Institute exit. We heard C.W. Sigmund, and he said this was mainly inside the building of that refinery plant. And the shelter in place is precautionary. There are multiple injuries, multiple patients at the plant in connection with this. It appears to be some kind of acid spill released there inside the plant. So we'll have more information, but we'll have what we know right now coming up at wvmetronews.com.
Jeff Jenkins from the Metro News Newsroom. Thank you, as always, Jeff. Appreciate it. Coming up, we'll check in with Jonathan Savage, Fox News Radio. What is the latest? Do we have a ceasefire? Has it been extended? Is Iran honoring that? We'll get into all that next.
Located in the heart of West Virginia, Bridgeport is the place to play. Endless indoor and outdoor recreation opportunities, including the Bridgeport Complex, coupled with a dynamic food scene, make Bridgeport the perfect getaway destination for couples and families. Explore unique shopping and pick from a wealth of lodging options to find something perfect for your needs. Explore the heart of West Virginia in Bridgeport. Learn more about all there is to do at greater-bridgeport.com.
Coal-based generation remains the backbone of West Virginia's energy portfolio, ensuring reliability, security, and affordable electricity throughout the region. Our coal plants are engineered for performance, designed to run most efficiently at or near a 70% capacity factor. This level of operation is not arbitrary. It's based on sound engineering principles, scientific analysis, and has been formally adopted by the West Virginia Legislature as a reasonable target for optimal performance. When our coal fleet operates near that benchmark, it provides stable power to the grid, maintains cost efficiency, and supports thousands of good-paying jobs across our state. Coal generation also drives local tax revenue that sustains schools, infrastructure, and community services. Working in partnership with state leaders and the Trump administration, we're ensuring that our coal fleet remains modern, efficient, and ready to power West Virginia and beyond for decades to come. This message brought to you by the West Virginia Coal Association and Friends of Coal.
Are you ready to reach the finish line of retirement? At the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group, we provide comprehensive guidance for retirement planning in West Virginia. With years of experience, we'll draft a plan tailored for your unique goals. Whether you're just starting or nearing retirement, we make the process as simple as possible, easy, and stress-free. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike to set up a complimentary consultation and get started on your plan today. Let's work toward your dream retirement together.
Looking for a career that truly matters? Healthcare offers stability, great benefits, and careers that are in demand right now. From patient care to technology and support roles, healthcare careers offer flexibility and opportunity. Not sure where you fit? Take the quick healthcare career quiz at explorehealthcareerswv.com. Discover the path that's right for you. Healthcare careers, where passion meets purpose.
Senator Shelley Moore Capito is more than a true conservative and proud West Virginian. She's a champion of our way of life.
She doesn't just fight, she delivers. Working with President Trump to close the border and keep our families safe, protect our energy jobs, and cut taxes. And establishing the New River Gorge National Park, a powerful economic engine. Shelley Moore Capito, our senator, our champion.
I'm Shelley Moore Capito, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Capito for West Virginia.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
5, 3.
For your daily fix of sports in West Virginia, there's only one stop.
I would imagine a group of you got together and watched the Mountaineers last night. What were your thoughts on that performance?
It was funny, we were sitting with a guy last night, and he said, all right, I'm going to go put $1,000 on it. Well, down the stretch of that ball game, he's looking at us like, are you kidding me? And sure enough, the Mountaineers came back. I saw him today. He said, yep, I'm putting another $1,000 on them tomorrow.
Sportsline on Metro News Television.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
304 Talk 304 is the text line. Let's check in with Fox News Radio's Jonathan Savage. Is there a ceasefire? Will there be further peace talks with Iran? Jonathan, good morning. Thanks for joining us. President Trump says the ceasefire has been extended, but is that the case?
Well, yeah, the ceasefire appears to be on, but peace talks are very much in limbo. And this ceasefire extension is unilateral on behalf of the United States. It's not been jointly agreed with Iran or even with Israel, the other country which has been part of this operation against the Iranians. And Iran's response, one of their top advisors, dismissing this as a meaningless ploy to buy time for a surprise attack. Underlines the lack of trust at the moment. And going back to what President Trump announced with this ceasefire extension, he said it was at the request of Pakistan, which has been trying to mediate talks, and is to give Iran time to come up with a unified proposal and get back around the table and end the discussions positively.
Jonathan, we read this morning Iran has attacked 3 ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Tell us more.
Yes, this happened hours after President Trump announced the extension of the ceasefire. Iran seemingly stepping up its control of the Strait of Hormuz, a major obstacle in making progress towards peace. At least 3 commercial vessels were attacked within hours of each other. They all appear to be linked to the world's biggest shipping company, MSC. At least 1 ship sustained damage. Others were forced to stop or divert. All the crews were reported safe, but they were blocked from transiting the strait by Revolutionary Guard gunboats, which fired upon the vessels. The Iranians claim that they warned the ships, but the UK's maritime trade operations says that at least one ship was fired upon without prior radio contact.
Fox News Radio's Jonathan Savage joining us. Jonathan, the ceasefire, has it been extended indefinitely, or has President Trump set another deadline?
Well, President Trump, in his public statements, has not given a deadline. The implication was that it was indefinite. However, Fox News can confirm that President Trump's extension of the ceasefire is for only 3 to 5 days. That's coming to us from a White House official. So he has continued to threaten Iran that the United States would resume its military campaign, saying that the U.S. military is ready to go. He's also threatened to target bridges and power plants, which would be seen as a significant escalation.
And J.D. Vance, of course, was scheduled to leave yesterday. Did not, correct? Did not leave.
That's correct. Air Force Two never got off the ground. J.D. Vance instead stayed in Washington, D.C. and spent several hours in policy meetings at the White House. The Iranian government had never confirmed that they were going to send a delegation. They said they were viewing participation positively, but as the hours ticked on, it started to become less likely, and eventually it was decided that these talks simply were not going to happen. Iran has been saying that they are accusing the United States of not showing seriousness and a lack of good faith. One senior Iranian official speaking anonymously to Reuters, saying that Iran will only attend talks if the U.S. abandons pressure and threats.
Fox News Radio's Jonathan Savage with the latest on the situation in Iran. Jonathan, thank you very much for the update.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Coming up, we'll get your thoughts, 304 Talk 304. Second hour of the program, Mike McKenna, friend of the show, a D.C. columnist, will join us. We will get into gerrymandering across the border back in the mothership. Maybe it's time to revisit that invitation to 20-some counties to come on over. We'll get into that coming up in the second hour of the program. Your thoughts are welcome at 304 Talk 304. Phones are always open as well at 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. Stephen Allen Adams will also join us coming up second hour of the program. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios on Metro News. Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia. It's 10:30. Let's get a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening all across the great state of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Yancel with you here on a Wednesday. Yesterday, those lows, a lot of frosty and freezing 30s and 20s were observed for us in the state. Charleston got to 30 for an official low yesterday. Martinsburg, your 25 was enough for a daily record low. Now we're warming up and watching for some likely rain and storms this morning. Some general storms for most of the state are possible this morning and this afternoon, too, for some of us. The isolated severe weather risk is to our northwest areas of Ohio. Cities like Columbus, some isolated large hail damaging winds possible this afternoon. We have likely morning round of showers here with the front stretching nearer northeast of our area today, and then a chance of some thunderstorms popping in the afternoon. Areas of Ohio, some isolated severe weather possible there. Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home. Spots like New York City, a cool 55. Chance of a rain shower today. Charlotte, 84. Myrtle Beach, near 74. From Panhandle to Panhandle, rain and storms likely this morning. And then a chance of a storm this afternoon. Highs upper 60s to mid 70s. Not as cold for lows now, too. 50s for overnight lows with a chance of a shower. Likely rain and storms this morning out east, then a chance this afternoon. So timing multiple rounds of some passing rain. Keep your eyes on a radar today. Showers potentially coming to an end overnight tonight. Lows in the 50s. Showers likely this morning with a likely thunderstorm too for the morning drive. Then a chance of a shower and storm in the afternoon. Highs 60s and 70s. Lows in the 50s. Chance of showers and storms this evening, early tonight. End of the south, likely showers. Chance of a storm this morning. And then a chance of a shower and storm this afternoon through this evening. And then likely dry tomorrow. Slight chance of a shower, 82 in Charleston. 84 Friday, warming up. And then timing cold front for the weekend. Chance of showers Friday, then likely showers. Chance of storms Friday night into Saturday, 75. Highs in the 70s next week, watching rain and storms.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
When you hired me, you were 29. You seemed like you were 50 when you were 29. You were running that thing like a 50-year-old man. All right, we got to go get some tape. Come on, get out of there.
I think I've sort of always been 50, and I think I'm 50 now.
Yeah, me too.
That's
me
a
too.
great point. Join Tony Caridi, Brad Howe, and Hoppy Kercheval for Three Guys Before the Game. Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at wvmetronewstv.com.
Talk 304 is the text line. You can give us a call, 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. We'll get to some of your thoughts coming up in the next segment. Stephen Allen Adams will join us second hour. He has a breakdown of fundraising for the congressional candidates heading into the primary election, which, by the way, early voting begins 1 week from today. Joining us on Metro News Talkline this morning is Gabby Hoffman. She's the director of the Center for Energy and Conservation of Independent Women. She's a columnist. She's a podcaster. She weighed in recently on the possibility for the United States to become a major player as far as exporting LNG, natural gas, especially what's happening in Iran. Joining us on Metro News Talkline this morning, Gabby Hoffman. Gabby, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Happy Earth Day. It's good to be with you, gentlemen.
It is Earth Day, as a matter of fact. Why are we working today? Shouldn't we have the day off, TJ? Come on.
I'll take it.
Well, maybe the day off for hunting and fishing, because that's how I view Earth Day, really, as, you know, the true conservationists are the hunters and anglers out there, of which I consider myself one too.
We can do a whole segment on that if you want to do that, Gabby. We can talk some deer hunting, some trout fishing. Sure.
Yeah, turkey, deer, trout, all of the above. But no, I'm happy to talk about LNG with you guys this morning.
So let's get into this. With the strikes in Iran, the strikes on the major LNG plants over in the Middle East, what kind of an opportunity is it for United States producers here to become the exporter of natural gas?
This is already playing out, and you have to give kudos to the Trump administration for adopting a posture which welcomes exploration, safe, responsible exploration that won't come at the detriment of Americans, nor our expenses. So and you've talked about this, I think, with other experts too. We see this platitude and this talking point that if we export more of our energy abroad, we're going to face higher prices. There's been no evidence of that happening. In fact, now countries are coming to us, independent of the war in Iran, and saying, I want to wean myself off of oil from Venezuela. We've deposed them as well. I want to wean myself off of Russian oil and gas and not be dependent on them. And maybe this could inspire countries to look back at home. I think of, let's say, the UK and Germany, two countries which were industrial powers, historically speaking. You think of the Industrial Revolution coming through Britain, and Germany before Nazi occupation totally destroyed them. And they're now kind of in this weird, post 20th century malaise, trying to figure out themselves. They were a powerhouse too before 20th century evil regimes. So these countries can do like what things we do here with energy production, the wider European Union, Asian countries too. But some of them are, I think, too gullible, and they've bought into this green mandate prescription, thinking it's a prescription solution, when it's not. It actually invites a lot of this energy insecurity. So now they have to buy from the United States because they couldn't get a handle on their energy policies at home. And while it is great that I would love more countries to buy from us and we could be the top supplier, and I think we will, but they also have to echo the United States in terms of the energy policies we have. Now we have a policy of abundance, which says we need to have as many reliable, abundant, secure sources, natural gas, coal, nuclear, geothermal even, and expedite that and streamline that more and really max the potential for that as well. And a lot of these countries are saying, well, we can produce reliable energy with less. We don't have to tap into resources. We don't have to explore here or there. And that is why they've seen historically higher prices than us, independent of the war in Iran. But LNG exports, LNG were called in the first Trump administration molecules of freedom. And they really do. We do export freedom through energy policy nowadays, especially in Trump 2.0. And that's what a lot of these countries are realizing, that American LNG is much better, cleaner, and it's a way of weaning themselves off of dependency. But I think there's another side to that dependency where, let's say a different administration comes in a couple years, and it's not a same pro-energy administration. Are they going to be able to buy from us? No, they're going to then possibly walk back to crazy green policies unless they decide to look at home. So energy exports is a gateway to smarter energy policy overall. And I think we could lead the way. And we are. And we had to recalibrate the global kind of position of energy markets because the Middle East had a stranglehold on that for too long. The U.S. should have been leading that from the get-go. And we've had to play catch up with trying to become energy independent again, which is wonderful. But now we're reorienting global markets.
Here's why we're not. Here's the fly in the ointment. The capital is there. You can't build an LNG export facility in this country. The permitting is a mess. Congress has failed. The White House has failed. Somebody has to make it easy because it's not the capital. It's the process of being able to build in the first place.
Absolutely correct. And that's why we see these bottlenecks time and time again. There is a little bit of movement happening. We've seen it on the regulatory side of things from the admin. NEPA has totally been upended in a good way. Now, a lot of people are panicking, like, why was NEPA upended? Why is the Trump administration doing this? But they said, like, you have to revisit and go back to even when that law was started. But it's not just NEPA, the National Environmental Policy Act. It's also the Clean Air Act, the Clean Water Act, the Endangered Species Act. This week, as we're talking, gentlemen, the House side is trying to pass a ESA amendments bill. This is, I think, the only way that they are going to be able to get something. There's not really talk of reconciliation 2.0. There's no standalone. The Senate is essentially holding efforts to proceed with permitting reform with the SPEED Act, which is something our organization would like to see from our C4 side of things. There is an appetite to pass it, but you have Senate Democrats saying we can only approve of it if there's transmission, if there's this carve out, if there's that carve out, instead of just looking big picture and saying we have a bottleneck, our resources are being strapped, we need more capacity, we need more pipelines, we need more infrastructure. Instead of thinking big picture, they're saying, oh, no, our needs are not being met, so screw this goal and who cares about this? So that is what we're going to run into. There is an appetite among elected Republicans and the White House, but to codify those changes, Congress has to act in a now post-Chevron world, Chevron SCOTUS decision world. And so we could see that, but Congress can't even fund DHS. So how are we going to expect them to proceed with permitting reform and bringing those laws into the 21st century and approving more capacity? We are seeing a couple projects come online. There's a new refining facility that was approved, the first in decades, but we need a lot more. So I totally share your frustration, and I hope Congress starts to get its act together, because when the summer comes and prices might go up with the summer blend, or if we're still having these geopolitical conflicts, if we're not having more capacity and more infrastructure projects, it's going to languish, and we will still see higher prices. So we need to build more to see lower prices.
Talking to Gabby Hoffman, she's the director of Independent Women's Center for Energy and Conservation. If we are exporting all this LNG, Gabby, what does that do to prices for natural gas abroad? But what does it do for prices here? Does that actually increase the price for folks here in the United States if we're sending all this LNG out to other places?
No, because we're sitting on a huge repository of proven reserves. We have, I believe, trillions of proven cubic feet of LNG, and we have plenty of supplies to go around. I recall, I believe it was one oil and gas outfit, and some people are like, well, that's questionable. Why would you cite them as like an authoritative source? But the research has been done and found that even as you export more LNG, you're not going to see a corresponding increase in prices. And funny enough, the people who are putting out that talking point are the opponents to LNG. So it's questionable to me when they're articulating that talking point and saying like, well, it's going to lead to higher prices. They're saying that so that they could force a transition away from LNG. And we saw that LNG has staying power. It's still the largest electricity generating source in the country, one of the top generating sources globally. And like I said, we have plenty to go around. Like, so if we exported 100 million proven reserves last year, and we turned out fine. And those have kept, even those exports, that historic level of global exports, still kept our prices relatively low. We look now with the Iran war playing out, we saw that natural gas prices globally are really, really below the threshold that everyone said they would be. And even in Europe, which again is pretty dependent on either North Sea oil and gas or American imports from us, they are starting to see lower prices too. So it's kind of a liberating force, LNG. Like, it really is our saving grace with helping to lower prices, all the while keeping supply here. And again, it's just like what you said, it's the issue of refining. We don't do much of our refining here, or it's like very light crude refining that we do here, and we need to build more. And a lot of the reason why we don't build more is because we have environmentalists that are obstructing the process to approve new projects. Although we do have a permitting council, I know the chairman there, Emily Domnich, she's a friend of mine, and she has been approving project after project after project to streamline the process to then get into the construction phase and then hopefully coming online within the next few years. So there are things in motion. But no, we're not seeing a corresponding price increase, even with geopolitics playing out in the global stage.
We like to think that we're energy independent. We've talked about the price of oil. We talk about Brent versus West Texas. Look, they're both going up. The reality is, and you've hit on this, until we have more refining capability for the kind of oil that we have here in the United States, we're not going to be energy independent, and we're going to see oil continue to be a global commodity. Here's my question to you. If we add enough refining capacity, can we make a dent in the market to where oil is no longer a global commodity and we're truly energy independent? So what happens across the world doesn't matter and doesn't affect us at the pump here.
That's a great question because I'm not Nostradamus, so I can't necessarily forecast into the future. And I don't even think more seasoned analysts can do that either, because a lot of people have been proven wrong with many different things. But I think, I still think oil can be traded as a global commodity, but who would be leading it? Would we be orchestrating it? And I mean, like now we control Venezuela's supply. We could soon be controlling Iran's supply. So it could be reorienting towards the US where we're controlling supply and we're also energy independent as well. And we're on our way to doing that. But I also think this is where other sources will come in the time, because we can't be totally weaning ourselves off of, some of this. I mean, we have to trade and trade is good. I think it's fine. And we can be dictating the parameters of that trade so it's fair and equitable. I hate using that term because it's a very far lefty term, but trade that is actually reciprocal, still in the orientation of free markets, because we want to supply our friends and allies with American energy if we can. And so they're not, it's good for business, it's good for us, all of that. But I think we needed a reorientation. I wouldn't say this is like a black swan event that would have, precipitated this, but there was going to be some sort of event, whether it was a war or some sort of the AI revolution, something would have brought about this anyway, because, energy intensive industries need reliable energy. So it was going to be a geopolitical shock like in Iran, or it was going to be something like data center boom, which, they're kind of coinciding with each other. So America has an opportunity to lead here, restart a lot of that refining capacity and really be this engine for energy, and then inspire other countries to take the tack that we have done and replicate what we're doing. But I also think in the short term, I was going to go towards this. We have to shore up other reliable sources like nuclear. Everyone keeps talking about nuclear. Nuclear is great for national security purposes. And also it has this reliability abundance that oil and gas has as well. But again, those are also stuck in the bottlenecks too. Fusion, I think, has a lot of potential. They can work in concert with oil and gas. I don't think they're a detriment or an impediment to oil and gas production. So that's why you see a simultaneous shoring up of other reliable sources in addition to oil and gas, because those are what are going to be powering the future for years, decades, millennia to come. We're not going to be going into wind and solar. There's no transition happening. We see more oil, coal production. We're seeing more nuclear because, people want to have progress, but they want comfort. And you can only have progress and comfort from reliable energy sources, including oil and gas, because so much of life is dependent on their derivatives and their byproducts. So, if an energy source cannot replicate and kind of branch off into creating byproducts that are essential to daily life, it's not going to have staying power, in my opinion. So I think that's what's going to be the conversation going forward. But I think we can have a say in what happens globally with energy going forward. That's my take on it.
Gabby Hoffman, the director for the Independent Women's Center for Energy and Conservation. We'll talk some deer hunting next time, Gabby. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, gentlemen. Good to talk to you.
Absolutely. Coming up, we'll get some of your thoughts. 304-TALK-304. That is the text line. Give us a call, 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. The West Virginia Lottery Back to Roots promotion tour continues. Every $5 in-store purchase gets a chance to win great prizes, plus entry into the $40,000 grand prize drawing. Put your best 80s gear on and join the tour. Visit WVLottery.com for a stop near you. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly.
A child who's a junior in high school in West Virginia or know someone that does, please listen up. Here's your opportunity to win a full scholarship from West Virginia Wesleyan College that includes room, board, tuition, and fees. The 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program is presented by ZMM Architects and Engineers and the West Virginia Farm Bureau. The deadline is May 3rd. For details, go to WVMetroNews.com to apply. That's WVMetroNews.com. Remember, application deadline is May 3rd.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
Welcome back, class of 2011.
Most likely to be a millionaire, didn't quite make it.
Hey, reunion's not over yet.
Over here, millionaire, smile.
Make room, people.
Who is that?
Congratulations to our very own Millionaire for Life!
Never too late, man.
You could win up to $1 million every year with Millionaire for Life. Play in store or online today. West Virginia Lottery. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Nasal obstruction, stuffiness, blockage. Is it allergy? Is it sinus? A lot of times it may be both. The Delview Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center is a clinic where we house all specialties that take care of allergies and sinuses together. You name it, we have it. It's one-stop shopping. Anything ENT that needs done for the citizens of West Virginia, we can provide that care.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Touchdown! We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
The region's largest restoration firm, responding from 5 locations. When disaster strikes your home or business, call Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
Metro News Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Text line is 304-TALK-304. We will get to your text coming up. Also, TJ and I will offer some observations and thoughts on that tragic story out of Kanawha County involving the death of John Lucas, who was hit by the ambulance last week. A little tight on time right now. We'll get to that coming up in the second hour. Also, a reminder, and we're going to get an update from Jeff Jenkins here coming up at the top of the hour. I want to make sure I get the information. I have it in front of me here somewhere. The Institute Fire Department has called a precautionary shelter in place for those living in close proximity to the Catalyst Refiners plant. Kanawha County Emergency Manager C.W. Sigmund said there was an accident involving an acid-based material about 9:30 this morning. We'll get the latest update from Jeff Jenkins coming up at the top of the hour. Yesterday, the WVU rifle team was in Washington, D.C. at the White House, TJ. They were part of NCAA Champions Day at the White House, and, well, President Trump was doing President Trump yesterday as he introduced the WVU rifle team. Take a listen.
The 2025 National Collegiate Mixed Rifle Champions, the West Virginia Mountaineers, 51 points. Susie, we dominated West Virginia, maybe even more than you dominated the rifle world, Coach. I don't know. But I love that state. That state is the greatest. It's such an incredible group of people. And think of it, for their 20th national shooting title, and the coach was there for all of them or most of them? All of them? Just about all of them. That's amazing, and I just want to congratulate you. West Virginia is a great place. It's a great state. So many friends there. We've been there a lot. You know, when you win it by 45 points or something like that, maybe more, you like to sort of say, I love that state. And they like me, I guess. I can't imagine why. But for you to win, that's I know how difficult it is. So congratulations to all very much.
President Trump, stand-up comedian, doing shtick yesterday with the WV rifle team in the House. By the way, it's 21 national titles and 8 under the current Coach Hammond there. So just saying.
First off, proud of my alma mater. Great job. Make it about the rifle team. Don't make it about you.
He's a stand-up comedian. He's doing shtick. That's all he was doing yesterday. He fancies himself as the stand-up comedian in chief yesterday. They did get pictures in the Oval Office, I believe, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I saw him in the Blue Room as well. Great for the students. I mean, and the rifle team members. Meet the President of the United States. Dr. Benson was there. Ren Baker was there. Great for the university. Make it about the kids. Make it about the university.
304 Talk, 304 the text line. We got to take our final break of the hour. Tell you what's coming up in hour number 2. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
I'm Tom Willis, running against Shelley Moore Capito for U.S. Senate. Sarah and I love raising our kids here in West Virginia. You're the best people in the world, and it has been my honor to serve West Virginia for 26 years in the West Virginia National Guard, including flood duties all over our great state, and now in the state Senate. Shelley has abandoned our West Virginia traditional Christian family values, is ranked as one of the top insider traders in the U.S. Senate, and instead of negotiating for West Virginia families, got her son appointed as DA. I'm Tom Willis, and I approve this message because it's time for a change, West Virginia.
Paid for by Tom Willis Victory. Coal-based generation remains the backbone of West Virginia's energy portfolio, ensuring reliability, security, and affordable electricity throughout the region. Our coal plants are engineered for performance, designed to run most efficiently at or near a 70% capacity factor. This level of operation is not arbitrary. It's based on sound engineering principles, scientific analysis, and has been formally adopted by the West Virginia Legislature as a reasonable target for optimal performance. When our coal fleet operates near that benchmark, it provides stable power to the grid, maintains cost efficiency, and supports thousands of good-paying jobs across our state. Coal generation also drives local tax revenue that sustains schools, infrastructure, and community services. Working in partnership with state leaders and the Trump administration, we're ensuring that our coal fleet remains modern, efficient, and ready to power West Virginia and beyond for decades to come. This message brought to you by the West Virginia Coal Association and Friends of Coal.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Nasal obstruction, stuffiness, blockage. Is it allergy? Is it sinus? Odd times it may be both. The Delview Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center is a clinic where we house all specialties that take care of allergies and sinuses together. You name it, we have it. It's one-stop shopping. Anything ENT that needs done for the citizens of West Virginia, we can provide that care.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Coming up, second hour of Metro News Talkline. Mike McKenna is going to join us, contributing editor for the Washington Times, columnist, our insider in the Beltway. We'll get into gerrymandering over in the mothership. Also, Stephen Allen Adams will stop by. He has a nice breakdown this morning of congressional fundraising heading into the May 12th primary election. Just a reminder, yesterday was the last day to register or change your voter registration, so no more changes can be made, at least for the primary election. Early voting begins 1 week from today, and the primary election is May 12th. Of course, we will have wall-to-wall coverage for you across the Metro News Radio network on election night. That'll start at 7:06 and go till midnight or later, if necessary. Just saying. Come on back for the second hour of Metro News Talkline on Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Ansel with you here on a Wednesday. Yesterday, those lows, a lot of frosty and freezing 30s and 20s were observed for us in the state. Charleston got to 30 for an official low yesterday. Martinsburg, your 25 was enough for a daily record low. Now we're warming up and watching for some likely rain and storms this morning. Some general storms for most of the state are possible this morning and this afternoon, too, for some of us. The isolated severe weather risk is to our northwest areas of Ohio. Cities like Columbus, some isolated large hail damaging winds possible this afternoon. We have likely morning round of showers here with a front stretching nearer northeast of our area today, and then a chance of some thunderstorms popping in the afternoon. Areas of Ohio, some isolated severe weather possible there. Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home. Spots like New York City, a cool 55. Chance of a rain shower today. Charlotte, 84. Myrtle Beach, near 74. From Panhandle to Panhandle, rain and storms likely this morning. And then a chance of a storm this afternoon. Highs upper 60s to mid 70s. Not as cold for lows now, too. 50s for overnight lows with a chance of a shower. Likely rain and storms this morning out east, then a chance this afternoon. So timing multiple rounds of some passing rain. Keep your eyes on a radar today. Showers potentially coming to an end overnight tonight. Lows in the 50s. Showers likely this morning with a likely thunderstorm too for the morning drive. Then a chance of a shower and storm in the afternoon. Highs 60s and 70s. Lows in the 50s. Chance of showers and storms this evening, early tonight. End of the south, likely showers. Chance of a storm this morning. And then a chance of a shower and storm this afternoon through this evening. And then likely dry tomorrow. Slight chance of a shower, 82 in Charleston. 84 Friday, warming up, and then timing a cold front for the weekend. Chance of showers Friday, then likely showers, chance of storms Friday night into Saturday, 75. Highs in the 70s next week, watching rain and storms.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at Salango Law.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
MetroNews Talkline already in progress. We're in the Encova Insurance Studios. 800-765-TALK is the phone number, 800-765-8255. Text the show at 304-TALK-304. Coming up, Stephen Allen Adams, our friend from Ogden Newspapers, will drop by. We'll get into fundraising for the congressional candidates ahead of the May 12th primary election. Mike McKenna, Washington Times columnist, going to join us in just a moment. Jake Link, our video producer, and Ethan Collins handles the audio side of things. If you're listening in on the great radio affiliates across the state, Jake handles the video side on the Metro News television app, YouTube Live, and Facebook. Developing story this morning out of Kanawha County, where a shelter-in-place order was issued about 9:30 this morning. For an accident at the Catalyst Refiners plant. Chris Lawrence has been following that for us in the Metro News newsroom, and he joins us from the Charleston studios this morning. Chris, good morning. What's the latest, buddy?
Good morning, Dave. It's a very fluid developing situation that we have here in Kanawha County. It started right around the time Talkline went on the air this morning. In that 10 o'clock hour, there was an incident at the Catalyst Refiners plant that's located in the community of Institute. There's several chemical plants along that particular stretch of roadway between Institute and Nitro, right next to West Virginia State University's campus. It happened inside a building on the plant grounds there. We're told that it was an incident that involved some sort of an acid. It's unclear exactly what the incident was, but apparently there were several workers who were exposed or people in the plant that were exposed. There's a shelter in place that has been issued for the surrounding area as a precaution. Now, in the past hour, that was lifted for the St. Albans area, which is on the opposite side of the Kanawha River from where this plant is located. But that shelter in place is still in place for the areas around Institute, including the campus of West Virginia State and about a mile down the road toward Nitro this hour. We still don't know exactly what happened, but we know local hospitals have been told to prepare for multiple patients Not sure how many at this point, but multiple patients that may have suffered exposure injuries. So we're continuing to work that angle as well and see how many that we have or how many they have coming in via the Kanawha County Emergency Ambulance Authority. But at this point, that's the best information we have. I'm sure that the Kanawha County Office of Emergency Services will update us as they get to the point that they can release more information about what has happened here.
Chris Lawrence from the Metro News newsroom with the latest update on the shelter-in-place order for, again, that's in the Institute area, right around the Catalyst Refiners plant.
Yeah, the Catalyst Refiners plant, I'm not sure exactly what they produce there or what they make, but it's something to do with, we looked it up online, and it's something to do with removing sulfur from some other product. So it's a chemical process that they do there to extract silver out of other products, perhaps waste products. I don't know exactly, but I don't know anything about what they do there. But we are told that this was an acid incident that occurred in a building, and most of the chemical itself, or whatever the incident was contained within the building on the grounds there, and the emergency services are on scene. The Institute Fire Department and other first responders in Kanawha County have arrived on the scene and have the situation under control as far as that goes. Treatment of casualties is the plan at this point, and like I said, local hospitals have been told to expect multiple patients with exposure injuries. So, and from what we can tell, all of those were people within the plant, however many there are.
All right, Chris, appreciate the update, and keep us posted if we get some more information, all right?
Will do.
We've got the latest over at the website, wvmetronews.com. We will keep you up to date on that story as it evolves this morning. Yesterday, voters in Virginia approved a mid-decade redistricting plan that could boost Democrats' chances of winning 4 additional U.S. House seats in November's midterm elections. That'll decide control of the closely divided Congress. Friend of the show, Mike McKenna, is contributing editor for the Washington Times. He's a columnist. We call him a D.C. operative. He has a piece that was actually out before yesterday's vote. Gerrymandering raises Civil War-era questions about federal power and rights. You have my attention. Mike, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm sorry about the thing in Institute. That's a good part of the world, and they're good folks. I hope everything's okay out there. I've been on this beating this drum for a while on gerrymandering. It's a terrible idea, and the especially bad thing about Virginia is, mostly gerrymandering gets done by state legislators. Nobody has any expectations about those guys, right? You sort of expect them to be, borderline criminal. But in Virginia, because it was a constitutional amendment, right? They had to amend the Constitution. It was put in front of the voters. So basically, your friends and neighbors were voting to disenfranchise you. Where I live in Chesterfield County, Virginia, just south of Richmond, just south of the James River there. We had about 53, the split in the vote yesterday was about 53-47. I mean, it's 53% of the people in Chesterfield County voted to disenfranchise the other 47% of us. I don't know how we're supposed to treat each other like normal people at that point. I'm a little mystified by the whole thing, and I certainly wouldn't vote to disenfranchise anybody, and I don't know what to do with people who would. So I will tell you one story about the column, and that was in one of the paragraphs, I said, look, you're putting people in a situation where the only recourse they have is violence. And my editors asked me to take that out, and I did. But I sort of regret taking that out now.
As I look at the map here, Chesterfield County among them, I mean, basically, if I did my math right here, you tell me how many counties are in Virginia, I don't know, but about 10. Made this decision overall.
That's right.
I mean, on the votes, it was tough. It's close. 1.5 and change said yes. 1.4 and change said no. 51 to 49%. But this new map, I mean, Morgan Griffin is safe. They're not going to take his the 9th away from him. But other than that, I mean, Democrats have a clear advantage on this.
I was going to say, think about it this way, right? Virginia's a +3 Democratic state, right? And that's reflected in the congressional district, right? A congressional delegation right now, 6 Democrats, 5 Republicans. By the time we're done with this, assuming the Virginia State Supreme Court doesn't do something about it, it's going to be 10 Democrats and 1 Republican. And the long and the short of it is, and the tricky thing about Virginia is, it's not just a partisan gerrymander; it's a geographical gerrymander. If it's based. The districts are now based in Fairfax and Arlington and Alexandria and the urban cores of Norfolk and Richmond. And if you don't live in one of those 5 places, your vote doesn't really matter. That's a recipe for disaster. That's a recipe for people getting detached from the value of a democratic society. So I think it's something we all should worry about. The other thing is, intramural stuff, but it's relevant, right? Republicans got outspent 3-1 by the Democrats on this thing, right? You couldn't turn on a TV without watching President Obama tell you how important it was to gerrymander in this instance, right? These are good gerrymanders, not like the other gerrymanders that are bad. So I'm not quite sure what to do here with this thing. I myself am personally sort of pissed off at my neighbors. So I'm not sure how any of this has a happy ending. And by the way, if you look in the online atmosphere, there's a lot of people calling for civil war. There's a lot of there's a lot of angry people. I am not by myself.
Mike McKenna is joining us, contributing editor for the Washington Times, columnist, D.C. operative. It's the justification for this that kind of bothers me. It irritates me. It frustrates me. Virginia's justification, as far as I can tell, being on the outside looking in the great state of West Virginia, East Virginia's justification for this, Mike, is, because they did it there. We have to do this because of national implications, and it seems to totally disregard making certain there is representation for the actual citizens of Virginia. This is about national politics and not what is best for state residents there in the Commonwealth.
Yeah, that's right. Right. It was explicitly sold as, hey, Donald Trump's a bad guy and we need to do this bad thing to counteract his badness. And I'm still looking for the first mother who taught her kids that, hey, man, 2 wrongs make a right. I don't know about you guys, but when I was growing up, my mom always used to say, hey, man, 2 wrongs don't make a right. But here we are. And to your point, yeah, it's about national politics. It's the other thing that bothers me is that Congresswoman Spanberger, Governor Spanberger ran as a moderate. I'm a moderate. First thing in the door, right? She increased costs for people, and she does this thing, right? Which, no matter what you think about it, whether you think it's good or bad, nobody thinks it's moderate, right? It's not the kind of thing a middle of the road person would do.
So, looking at this map, there is no way that someone in Montgomery County has the same opinion as someone in Albemarle County or near Richmond, which is this new 6th district. I'm looking at this map. I mean, I don't even know what that thing looks like. It's ludicrous. But here's my question. Did Republicans open the door? I mean, Texas opened the door. Ohio opened the door. I mean, do we need to blame our side a little bit here for making this a reality in Virginia?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, I've been banging this particular drum for probably 5 years that this is the kind of thing, look, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, right? And eventually everybody winds up blind and toothless. And that's sort of where we are. And somebody's got to call a stop to it. We opened up the news this morning, and sure enough, what's going on? Florida is talking about redistricting now to kind of make up for the Virginia thing. And I'm just like, guys, this is insane. We're literally going to wind up shooting at each other if this thing doesn't stop at some point. If people aren't represented, then what's the point, right? And we've now, like I said, disenfranchised about 40% of the voters in Virginia, and now I have no idea in what universe it's going to make up for that by disenfranchising some chunk of the people in Florida. It's just, somebody's got to call a stop to this nonsense.
Well, you're exactly right, Mike. And we're in this downward spiral that we can't seem to pull out of, where One side does one thing. All right, we're going to do it back on this side twice as hard as you did it to us, and then it's going to be 3 times as hard the next time around. And this spiral just is – it's a never-ending, infinite spiral into some sort of abyss to try to get the upper hand on the other guys, disregarding what you're actually supposed to be doing.
Yeah, and yes, and let me just agree with that 100%, right? That somebody – boy, this is a terrible thing to say about the world, but it's the truth. We need some adults somewhere floating around
Amen.
who get up and, who can get up and say, look, I'm okay if you're going to vote against me, and I'm okay if you're going to vote for me, and I sure hope you agree with me on a bunch of issues, but the stuff that we care about, representation, the, one man, one vote, popular sovereignty, right? That the people have the ultimate say in this country is more important than any stupid temporary policy we're talking about, right? And I just there's a real lack of that. And I have to be honest with you, the thing that disturbed me the most about this thing was President Obama. I don't have many expectations about my elected officials, but you think a retired president, a guy who's done with the world, would eventually, he would be the guy be able to rise above it and say, look, this is a bad idea. He was not. He was the cheerleader for this plane as it was flying into the ground.
Let me fix this for you. My 7-year-old could draw shapes on this map that are at least contiguous and look like a square or a rectangle. Let's have AI do it. Have AI do it and make it make sense and at least look like some kind of shape that is recognizable, contiguous, one person, one vote. And let's go back to not electing United States senators. Let's let the states do that with the legislature. Let's back that one up a little bit. Let's make Congress do their job. I mean, all of this really stems down to the fact, Mike, people they want to sit in Washington and they want to be important and they want to have their role and their title. They're not interested in governing. They're not interested in legislating. There's no policy representations in this map. It's just all about, how do I get to go back? It's become a good gig, and it's not about servant leadership. That's the problem.
Yeah, let me agree with that too, right? Let me just say one thing, right? The AI idea I like, but I'm kind of concerned that I like it because you're now basically what you're acknowledging is human beings do not have the judgment and the patience and the emotional maturity to do this on their own. We got to trust the computers to do it, which I'm not saying is wrong. I'm just saying it's kind of a sad commentary. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing is, the only good thing about our current situation is that Congress doesn't want to do anything. If they really, really wanted to do stuff and we're fighting tooth and nail to get majorities, that would be bad because then we'd have to be concerned about a bunch of things. But you're right. They just want to be congressmen. And I'm like, great. A friend of mine said, look, the trick of it is we should just pay them all their, $200,000 salaries and make them stay home and give them the titles, but make them stay home and have Congress be in session like 90 days a year. Right. That was, I was told this by a Reagan guy like 40 years ago. And I thought he's crazy, but the older I get, the more I'm thinking, no.
Mike McKenna, contributing editor for the Washington Times, as a columnist, D.C. operative. And just saying, Mike, there is actually a standing invitation. Come on over and join West Virginia. We have resolutions that have been proposed. Come on over. We'll take you.
I until about 6 hours ago, I wouldn't have even thought of that, but I got to be honest with you. I'm starting to think hard about the right answer here.
Come on, we'll take Frederick County. We'll take we can unite Bluefield. We can, one city in one state. I think it all sounds like a great idea.
The only amendment I'd offer is you're thinking too small. I think we should pick off East Tennessee while we're doing it.
I like it. Rocky Top. All right. Hey, guys. Mike McKenna, appreciate you stopping by this morning. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much, guys.
Got to take a break. We'll get some of your thoughts coming up at 304 Talk 304. That is the text line. 800-765 Talk is the phone number. Business across West Virginia rely on CityNet for secure, high-performing networks and advanced cybersecurity solutions built, owned, and supported right here at home. Visit citynet.net. Remember, CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
Relationships just work better with trust, reliability, and great communication. That's why more West Virginians are choosing CityNet Gig Fiber. fast, symmetrical speeds, no contracts, no data caps, and local teams monitoring the network around the clock. Plus, for a limited time, new residential customers can get 50% off any internet plan for a full year, with plans starting as low as $25 a month. Check availability at your address. Visit citynet.net today. CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
Looking for a career that truly matters? Healthcare offers stability, great benefits, and careers that are in demand right now. From patient care to technology and support roles, healthcare careers offer flexibility and opportunity. Not sure where you fit? Take the quick healthcare career quiz at explorehealthcareerswv.com. Discover the path that's right for you. Healthcare careers, where passion meets purpose.
They say you can't take the lottery with you. But now, you can play anywhere, anytime with iPlay, the West Virginia Lottery's official app. From Cooper's Rock to the Greenbrier River, from the bleachers to your living room, iPlay goes where you do. Safe, simple, and always West Virginia proud. Play anywhere, anytime. Download iPlay today. iPlay, the fun, secure way to play, wherever life takes you. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
Worried about paying for college? MetroNews is proud to present the 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program, where one high school junior in West Virginia will win a full scholarship to West Virginia Wesleyan College, including room, board, tuition, and fees. For details, go to wvmetronews.com and click the Apply Now button. Deadline is May 3rd. The 2026 West Virginia Scholar Program, presented by Greer Industries and the West Virginia Hospital Association. Go to wvmetronews.com and apply today by May 3rd.
Your heart deserves world-class care, close to home and always within reach. At WVU Medicine's Heart and Vascular Institute, we offer everything from routine checkups to advanced treatments, helping you manage heart disease, high blood pressure, and more with personalized care. For more information, visit wvumedicine.org/heart.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at wvhtf.org.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off, or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
Squeeze in a couple of texts here before Stephen Allen Adams joins us coming up here bottom of the hour. 304 Talk 304. Texter says, "It's Virginia. I don't care. You want to work in Virginia? Don't let the door hit you on the way out. This is the West Virginia Radio Network, says the texter. Hey, David TJ, I don't think you can label yourself a conservative if you don't support term limits. We need new representatives that are for the people, both states and federal. Everybody loves term limits till they actually have a chance to, enact term limits. I say that broadly. That's kind of a broad generalization there.
Yeah.
Donald Trump has been consolidating power, stretching or even breaking the limits of the law to stay in office. Democrats would be committing political suicide to not fight back, says the texter. Does Mr. McKenna feel bad for the people in Texas, North Carolina, and Florida who were disenfranchised by those redistricting situations? I think his point was, as Mama used to say, 2 wrongs don't make a right. Because they did it doesn't make it right either.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And there's a lot of blame to go around, but I have to tell you, do you think anyone in Fairfax County gives a flying fig about anyone in Wise County, Southwest Virginia? I worked there for a number of years. Many of those people have never even been past Richmond, let alone even Roanoke, let alone Wise County. And here's why it should matter. I get it's West Virginia, but this affects us all. This is a national issue that spills over, that's going to control Congress and determine what happens in the future with policy. It should concern everyone. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring it up. So blame me on that. Don't blame Dave.
I blame Mike McKenna. Now let's blame Stephen Allen Adams. He'll join us next. It's Talkline on Metro News, for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia. It's 11:30. Let's get a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening all across the great state of West Virginia.
West Virginia Metro News.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Ansel with you here on a Wednesday. Yesterday, those lows, a lot of frosty and freezing 30s and 20s were observed for us in the state. Charleston got to 30 for an official low yesterday. Martinsburg, your 25 was enough for a daily record low. Now we're warming up and watching for some likely rain and storms this morning. Some general storms for most of the state are possible this morning and this afternoon, too, for some of us. The isolated severe weather risk is to our northwest areas of Ohio. Cities like Columbus, some isolated large hail damaging winds possible this afternoon. We have likely morning round of showers here with the front stretching nearer northeast of our area today, and then a chance of some thunderstorms popping in the afternoon. Areas of Ohio, some isolated severe weather possible there. Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home. Spots like New York City, a cool 55. Chance of a rain shower today. Charlotte 84, Myrtle Beach near 74. From Panhandle to Panhandle, rain and storms likely this morning. And then a chance of a storm this afternoon. Highs upper 60s to mid 70s. Not as cold for lows now, too. 50s for overnight lows with a chance of a shower. Likely rain and storms this morning out east, then a chance this afternoon. So timing multiple rounds of some passing rain. Keep your eyes on a radar today. Showers potentially coming to an end overnight tonight. Lows in the 50s. Showers likely this morning with a likely thunderstorm too for the morning drive. Then a chance of a shower and storm in the afternoon. Highs 60s and 70s. Lows in the 50s. Chance of showers and storms this evening, early tonight. End of the south, likely showers. Chance of a storm this morning. And then a chance of a shower and storm this afternoon through this evening. And then likely dry tomorrow. Slight chance of a shower, 82 in Charleston. 84 Friday, warming up. And then timing cold front for the weekend. Chance of showers Friday, then likely showers. Chance of storms Friday night into Saturday, 75. Highs in the 70s next week, watching rain and storms.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at Salango Law.
When you hired me, you were 29. You seemed like you were 50 when you were 29. You were running that thing like a 50-year-old man. All right, we got to go get some tape. Come on, get out of there.
I think I've sort of always been 50, and I think I'm 50 now.
Yeah, me too.
That's
me too.
a great point.
Join Tony Caridi, Brad Howe, and Hoppy Kercheval for 3 Guys Before the Game. Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at wvmetronewstv.com.
More of your texts coming up. 304-TALK. 304 is the text line. 800-765-TALK is the phone number. If you have a child who is a junior in high school in West Virginia or know someone who does, please listen up. Now is your opportunity to win a full scholarship from West Virginia Wesleyan College that includes room, board, tuition, and fees. The 19th annual West Virginia Scholar Program is presented by ZMM Architects and Engineers and the West Virginia Farm Bureau. The deadline is May 3rd. That is quickly approaching. For details, go to wvmetronews.com to apply. That's wvmetronews.com. The application deadline is May 3rd. Over at the website, our top story this morning, a developing situation, a shelter-in-place order for those living in close proximity to the Catalyst Refiners plant in Institute. According to emergency officials in Kanawha County, there was an incident inside the plant involving an acid-based material earlier this morning. The material was spilled inside a building in the plant and is largely contained, but there is a shelter-in-place order for those living in close proximity to the Catalyst Refiners plant, a precautionary shelter-in-place order. That story, again, continuing to develop, and we will keep you posted at wvmetronews.com and throughout the day on the Metro News Radio Network. 304-TALK, 304, the text line, 800-765-TALK is the phone number. Stephen Allen Adams, friend of the show, Ogden Newspapers, Capitol reporter, and columnist, did a breakdown of the fundraising for congressional candidates heading into the May 12th primary election. He joins us on Metro News Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios in Charleston. Stephen, good morning. Thanks for joining us. You look very nice and refreshed and ready to go after taking a few days off.
Yeah. 6 days in the Caribbean will do that. We were in Grand Cayman and Foulmouth, Jamaica, and Coco Cay in the Bahamas. It was a good time. But
what'd you bring us?
My alcoholism that I can share. But otherwise, no, it was a great time. That's our third Royal Caribbean cruise. We always do the kind of the mid-sized ships because they're just easier to get around and less chaotic. A lot of fun. Good. But I'm happy to be back.
All right, Stephen. The fundraising and campaign contributions for the congressional candidates heading in this May 12th primary, not a lot shocking here. Senator Shelley Moore Capito has a huge war chest. Everybody else is way behind, at least when it comes to fundraising.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely correct. It's not a surprise. Senator Capito already had a pretty big bank going into this, but she's doing quite well. I mean, she raised just short of $1 million for the April quarterly period. That covers a period of time between January and the end of March. Year-to-date contributions are north of $5 million, and she hasn't really spent all that much money in the scheme of things. She's sitting on, again, just north of $5 million in cash on hand. That gets her through the month of April, gets her through part of May into the May 12th primary. So it's a huge war chest. The only candidate that comes close to her in regards to fundraising is Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Tom Willis of Berkeley County, who raised only just north of $41,000 for the quarter, around $106,000 election cycle to date. So very tight. He's got just under $90,000 in cash on hand. And he's done a lot of loans. A lot of his money has come from himself being able to loan money to his campaign. So he's self-funding to a certain degree. But that's how he is being competitive. He's got ads out there, including on this network, and trying to get the word out about his campaign and how he's more conservative than Capito. And yeah, those money-wise, those are the two front runners on the Republican side of things.
As a student of politics, give us your analysis in terms of what this says, the ability to raise money elected, or related, I should say, to electability.
Sure. Well, I tell people all the time, the person with the most amount of money in a campaign is not always the one who wins. Mm-hmm. But the person with the least amount of money is almost always going to lose a race, 99% of the time. Now, again, Senator Capito, she's in a leadership position. She was number 4 in Republican leadership in the Senate. She's got a major committee chairmanship. She is in an important subcommittee chairmanship in regards to money and appropriations and that sort of thing. Very, very important position there. And she has the endorsement of President Donald Trump. So all that going in helps her. I mean, back in 2020, when she won for her second full 6-year term, she had more votes, at least on paper, than President Donald Trump did in the state in 2020. And by the way, she had a primary opponent in that too, former Family Policy Council President Alan Witt, who ran to her political right then too, just like Senator Willis is doing in this election. So she's been challenged from her right flank before, but again, she's been in politics for a very long time, been in Congress since 2001. Money-wise, position-wise, leadership-wise, seniority-wise, I mean, she's got a leg up. So Tom Willis has a lot of work to do.
Talking to Stephen Allen Adams, Ogden Newspapers, Capitol reporter and columnist. Over on the Democrat side, how's the fundraising there, Stephen? Because I don't know if it's so much the fundraising heading into the primary, but fundraising going into, I'm looking ahead to November, who can put up any sort of a challenge from the left in the general election. Could it be Jeff Kessler or could it be one of these other candidates?
It's a little harder to tell on the Democratic side. I'm not sure what's going on at the FEC or what's happening. For example, I did not include South Charleston attorney Thornton Cooper in my story because he had no report on the FEC website. He reached out to me, I believe, yesterday and sent me his report, said he turned it in a week early. And of course, he's kind of low on the totem pole as far as
we probably
fundraising goes.
defunded them.
Well, they are short staffed at the FEC right now. I don't know that they're fully. I don't know if the commission itself even has its full positions. For example, former Senate President Jeff Kessler, who I would perceive to be one of the front runners just due to his position in the party. Former Senate President, Minority Leader, Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman at one point, has ran for governor before on the Democratic ticket a couple times, someone that has respect within a lot of your county Democratic executive committees. I would assume he'd probably be at least one of the front runners in this, but I can't find an FEC report online from him. That's not to say he hasn't turned one in, and there may be one out there, but I can't find one. And that was the same problem I had for Thornton Cooper. Now, if you look at Zachary Shrewsbury, the community organizer from Princeton, who ran in the last election cycle to try to run for Manchin seat, he ended up losing that primary. He's running again. He has the most money so far because he raised around $193,000 for the cycle, or for the quarter, I should say, $452,000 election cycle to date, and he's going into this with just over $8,000 in cash on hand. Not a lot of money, but he is getting the most in donations.
What else are you looking at?
Oh, boy.
That's me letting you have carte blanche.
Well, I appreciate that because, I mean, we're talking about the congressional. I'm beginning to look now at some of this third-party spending on legislative races. Now, I leave a lot of the coverage of individual House and state Senate races up to my local newspapers because that's a lot of races to cover. But you can't deny, obviously, due to the mailers and some of the ads, the impact the third-party political action committees, independent expenditure committees are having already on the legislative races. And I've been looking specifically here at Sugar Maple PAC, which since April has raised more, nearly $600,000, some of that from pretty large donors, including Yes Every Kid, mega donor Jeff Yass. I mean, big donations. And, I mean, oh, my goodness, they are spending really big against certain House and Senate races and on behalf of certain Senate and House races. And we're talking probably of the money they've raised, I'd say half of that is already out the door just in the last couple weeks. So, I mean, they're dropping Brinks trucks on races right now.
Well, Stephen, you bring that up. They're spending a ton of money up in District 1, which is the Northern Panhandle. That's Laura Wakeham Chapman's district. I've seen a ton of flyers coming out of District 1 up there. We've talked about Sugar Maple. There's the School Freedom Alliance, I think, is one of the PACs spending a ton of money. There's a lot of third-party money being spent there. I've heard some things down out of your area, TJ, Putnam County, Kanawha County, the Tacubo District. What's that, Senate District 10?
No, it's not 10.
There's 17.
Yeah.
Are they 17?
Yeah, 17.
Money flying around there. And, Stephen, it all comes back to the storyline for this election, and we'll talk much more about this in the coming weeks and on election night itself. The storyline was set last January when you had the election for the Senate president, and there were clear factions in the Senate, and that's what this election has become about. Who is going to gain control of the Senate going into the 27 legislative session? Is it going to be, for lack of better descriptions, the Randy Smith faction, or is it going to be the Tom Takubo faction? Is it going to be the Morrissey side or the Capito side? I mean, there's a couple of ways you can describe it, but that's the storyline.
Oh, yeah, that's the question. I mean, I can give you some numbers. I mean,
Sure.
in regards to 1st Senatorial District, Lower Wacom Chapman, Sugar Maple PAC has spent a total of north of $30,000 on her behalf, trying to get the word out about her. This is her, she's just wrapping up her first term, so this is her running for election the second term. Joe Eddy, the businessman up in the Northern Panhandle, I mean, Sugar Maple PAC has spent, goodness sake. I just had it in front of me. Yeah, they've spent $15,854 opposing Joe Eddy just in that race alone. Takubo, they spent nearly $28,000 opposing Takubo, whereas, in regards to not Elliot Pritt, but Chris Pritt, former delegate, they've spent $13,404. So, I mean, they're dropping a lot of money on these races.
Do West Virginians make the connection that this outside money is coming in? Do they realize it? Does it matter to them? And also, the other side, I'll say the Takubo faction, has been quick to point out that those on the Smith faction are getting these big dollars, and they're not raising a lot of their own money from inside West Virginia locally, like from people who actually live and work here.
Yeah.
Does that matter in this race?
Well, I do think, unfortunately, because, I write a lot about campaign finance. I know Brad does. Amelia's doing some of that. I mean, I think people read our stuff. Do I think it kind of goes over people's heads to some extent? I think so. People are busy. People don't think about these elections. A lot of people, they'll vote early just to get it out of the way. Yes, they look at the mailers, but do they read them word for word, front and back? Probably not. In fact, if they're like me, they sit on your kitchen table, and you'll use them for kindling for your fire pit later in the month. But I mean, I think it kind of goes over some people's heads because it's an education thing, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what has some of these incumbent Republicans that are getting the brunt of this. That obviously, and I don't know, there theoretically shouldn't be any coordination between Morrissey and some of these PACs. I don't know if there is or isn't, but there is a lot of overlap, if you will. And I got to tell you, if Morrissey and these pro-Morrissey groups that are pushing these candidates, if they don't get them across the finish line, if they spend all this money and they still lose, man, that's going to be a rough 2 years for groups that support these issues and groups that support Governor Morrissey. That's going to be rough. That's a gamble. And you've seen Governor Morrissey specifically endorse on his own some of these very candidates. That's rough.
He's all in at the table, brother.
Yeah, he better hope. I hope his cards are good.
Well, Steve, we've talked about this as well, and I'm interested to get your thoughts. Is it that big of a gamble? Because if Governor Morrissey does not go all in and try to get candidates who will support his agenda and his initiatives, it's going to be a rough 2 years anyway. So why not go all in and see if you can put your thumb on the scale, or as Senator Oliverio said, fist on the scale, to try to tip things so you can advance your agenda the next 2 years. As it's made up now, it's already a rough relationship. So
that's
maybe
true,
it's not
but
that big of a gamble.
Well, here's my thing. I don't have a problem with the governor endorsing. Is it a little unusual? Yes. You didn't see Jim Justice really do this publicly. It's not to say that behind the scenes he didn't have candidates that he's supportive. I'm sure that he did, and same goes for previous governors as well. I don't really have a problem with a governor endorsing, but it's a gamble to do it, and you're probably better off just keeping your mouth shut and letting these third-party groups do their thing on their own and just keeping your hands clean.
But here's the optics that really matter. Let's say he loses, sake of argument. Loses big.
Yeah.
On May the 12th. Here's the problem. Race for governor starts, what are the polls close, 7:30? So the race starts at 7:31 p.m. for governor. You know what? West Virginians don't like losers. Americans don't like losers. They like to vote for winners. And right out of the bat, he's got a big loss, and that hurts. That stings, and that's why I think it's a big gamble.
Oh, yeah, and whoever decides to run, whether it's a Larry Pack or whether Senator Justice decides to come back, which, by the way, he's got his fight with the Greenbrier right now. If something happens where he loses that or at minimum he gets put in receivership, he's going to look like a loser, too. So I don't know if he's going to want to run for governor again if that happens between now and the election. But point being, whoever's going to make that run is going to have some real ammunition to use against Governor Morrissey heading into the 2028 primary for sure.
Stephen Allen Adams, Capitol columnist, reporter. You can read his work in Ogden newspapers all over across the state of West Virginia. Stephen, good to see you again, buddy. Appreciate you stopping by as always.
Thanks, guys.
We'll get your thoughts next. 304-TALK-304. That is the text line. Phones are always open as well at 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. That's the phone number. May not feel like boat weather right now, but soon enough it will be time to hit the rivers and lakes. So don't be unprepared. Be prepared with great deals on pontoon and fishing boats at Lou Wendell Marine Sales. Check out the entire inventory at LouWendellMarineSales.com. That's LouWendellMarineSales.com. Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun. Back in a moment.
Senator Shelley Moore Capito is more than a true conservative and proud West Virginian. She's a champion of our way of life. She doesn't just fight, she delivers, working with President Trump to close the border and keep our families safe, protect our energy jobs, and cut taxes, and establishing the New River Gorge National Park, a powerful economic engine. Shelley Moore Capito, our senator, our champion.
I'm Shelley Moore Capito, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Capito for West Virginia.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
For over 30 years, High Technology Foundation has been committed to building a stronger West Virginia. Our mission, economic diversification. By fostering innovation and supporting tech initiatives, we pave the way for a brighter future. From cutting-edge research to tech-driven solutions, we're transforming the landscape. Join us in creating opportunities and driving progress. Let's build a diverse economy together. Visit WVHTF.org. High Technology Foundation, shaping West Virginia's future.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Nasal obstruction, stuffiness, blockage. Is it allergy? Is it sinus? A lot of times it may be both. The Delview Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center is a clinic where we house all specialties that take care of allergies and sinuses together. You name it, we have it. It's one-stop shopping. Anything ENT that needs done for the citizens of West Virginia, we can provide that care.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
304 Talk 304 is the text line. We will tomorrow, we will get to some thoughts on this tragic story out of Kanawha County involving the man who was hit and killed when he was hit by an ambulance. Time is what I'm indicating there. We'll get into that discussion a little bit deeper tomorrow. Text line 304 Talk 304. Pretty unbelievable to no mentions of Rachel Fetty Anderson for U.S. Senate, who raised $18,000, almost $19,000 this quarter, according to the FEC website. Actually, I think I'm scrolling through. I don't know if he mentioned that in his story or not. I had a bunch of stuff highlighted there, but duly noted. 304 Talk 304. I'll never forget the interview you all did a few months ago with the mayor of St. Albans, and the issue of gerrymandering in Texas came up during the interview, and the mayor proclaimed, "To the victor go the spoils," and everyone laughed. You all got a kick out of Texas gerrymandering. Different show, because I don't think the mayor of St. Albans has joined us. I like Scott.
Yeah.
I think it was a different show and a different Dave, actually.
We've never interviewed the mayor of St. Albans. I'm almost 99.9% confident than that.
You know what? Did we get confused for Dave Allen? Because if we did, we got a problem. Confuse us for Dave Allen. 304 Talk 304. All right, let me tell you what. Let me take my righteous indignation into the break because we are, again, tight on time. We're back in a moment. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
The rule of law protects our communities. Integrity protects our values. Conservative Justice Gerald Titus spent his career fighting for both. As a prosecutor, Titus took on criminals and traffickers. Now, as a justice, he applies the law as written, fairly and independently. Endorsed by law enforcement, he stands with those who protect and serve. Because when courts uphold the law, criminals are held accountable and communities are safer. For Justice Titus, it's personal.
I'm Justice Gerald Titus. I spent my career upholding the rule of law. I was born here, raised here, and now my wife and I are raising our family in West Virginia. We need judges who are fair and apply the law as written and protect the rights of all our citizens.
Vote to keep conservative Justice Gerald Titus on the West Virginia Supreme Court. Vote early or on May 12th. Paid for by Titus for Supreme Court.
Looking to advance your career without putting life on hold? Earn your MBA from Glenville State University in as little as 18 months. Choose from in-demand concentrations like artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and healthcare administration. Whether you're leading teams, analyzing data, or protecting digital systems, our programs are designed for working professionals who want flexibility and results. Take the next step with an MBA from Glenville State University. Learn more and apply today at glenville.edu.
Approach your retirement with confidence. With over 150 years of combined experience, the advisors of the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group provide advice and wealth management strategies to individuals, families, small businesses, professional offices, and institutions. With the Stike team, you'll have access to an advising team with extensive resources, a client-first mindset, and a passion for helping transform the lives of those we serve. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike today and join the team that's dedicated to your success.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Wake up with the Metro News Radio Network and get informed with the morning news.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Nasal obstruction, stuffiness, blockage. Is it allergy? Is it sinus? Odd times it may be both. The Delview Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center is a clinic where we house all specialties that take care of allergies and sinuses together. You name it, we have it. It's one-stop shopping. Anything ENT that needs done for the citizens of West Virginia, we can provide that care.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
All out of time. We'll be back tomorrow. This is Talkline on Metro News. For 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.